So Dee, you've done it again. You bring me another computer that doesn't work.
Well, actually, you said always keep your computer kind of clean, you know, so I took the back off or the side off and I tilted it over to clean it and everything fell out.
Wow.
But, you know, I cleaned it though. I took it out and hosed it down and
awesome.
I thought maybe we would, you could put it back together.
Please don't do that, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that wrong?
Will not work ever again. So at some point in the future, we're going to show you how to build a computer, okay? But I want to spend a few minutes just talking about what is a computer. Most people see this box with buttons on the front of it and they hit the buttons and they can surf the internet and do Facebook and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's hard.
So
a lot of things in there. A lot of
yeah,
things.
I wanted to show that some of the, you know, the major components in there. So I think we'll start with the motherboard. And this is an older machine, so if you got a brand new machine,
would it be a smaller motherboard probably?
Maybe smaller, maybe bigger. You know, motherboards are as different as cars on the road. They're different colors, shapes, sizes, that kind of stuff.
I'm curious, folks. Anybody, you could call in. Anybody know where the word motherboard? I mean, is that
because
like fatherboard just was taken?
Because
I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know either?
I'm sure we can find out, but it's the main board. Shall we call it the main board?
I like that better. I think fatherboard would have been better. But that's
okay. Well, you can actually get daughter boards.
Daughter boards?
That's a completely different
story.
Is there
an age restriction? We're going to keep it clean.
Okay, so this is a motherboard. This is pretty much what every component fits into. This is the kind of the backbone of the system, if you will. Okay?
Without this, you got nothing.
Well, all these components, actually, without any of these components, you ain't got nothing. But this is the one that holds everything together and allows everything to talk to each other. You know, you've got components here that talk to this component, talk to this component.
Yeah. All this stuff goes on the motherboard or around it somewhere, right?
Right. So the motherboard, one of the big things is the processor. Okay.
That right in there?
This is your processor here, right here. It's a Pentium, something or other. It's a 3 gigahertz Pentium, okay? There's a bunch of pins on the back. They make contact with these.
Right.
And this is the brain of the machine, okay?
That's the brain.
This is the one that does the thousands of calculations per second.
You know, that's funny, that's ironic. That's about the size of my brain right there.
Yeah, but this one actually functions.
This one works. Mine's smaller.
So that would fit in there like so, if you can get it the right rail. Right.
You can't get these through the mail. You have to go down for a fitting.
Yeah, I know. Mine are on the way.
All right.
That fits in there, and then you lock it in place, and your processor's in there.
So you can touch this without any problem?
Yeah, before working on any kind of electronic components, you want to make sure that you discharge any static from your body. You know, grab hold of the case, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then, of course, you're going to need one of these things. This is a heat sink. These processors generate a lot of heat.
A lot of heat.
And electronics don't like heat.
Don't like heat.
They fry, they burn up, and they run real slow before they burn up. So what most manufacturers do when you buy a processor is they include a heat sink or a fan with it. Some of them have got, you know, it's a copper base here. It hits this thing here. There's normally some thermal paste on there, and it helps. Everything helps dissipate heat. You want to get heat away from the system.
So that's a fan inside that thing, or
no? This is just a big aluminum or aluminium block. And
there's the word again.
There's a whole bunch of. It's kind of like a car radiator. You know, car radiator. There's a lot.
Oh, got those slots in it. Yeah.
You know that help dissipate heat. Same kind of thing. And I don't have it, but there's actually a fan that sits on top too.
Fan on top.
So it sucks the cold air through. It keeps air circulating.
All right.
So that's pretty important. You don't want to fry your processor. Memory.
No. Memory.
So all different machines need memory.
Yes.
Okay.
I've lost a lot of mine over the years.
Alcohol-induced, right?
I only drink when I'm alone or with somebody now.
Memory comes in a lot of shapes, sizes, colors, and capacity. These are 1 gigabyte sticks of DDR2, double data rate memory. Okay.
Is that good?
I mean, it's not bad. The newest memory out there for systems is DDR3, double data rate 3.
Okay.
And that's just how much bandwidth it can support. You can push through it.
The more memory
you have, the more programs you can use at the same time, the less frequent lockups you're going to have.
Right.
I mean, if you've got 512 megs of memory in your machine and you open up internet, your email, you're trying to play a game, it's just going to run real crap.
That ain't going to work.
You know? So the more memory you have in there, the better.
Now, I remember earlier, these just kind of snap in.
Right.
Is that right? Did
exactly
I do that one? Okay.
If you put it the right way around, yeah.
See that, folks? You just do that, and you flip this up, and it's...
Well, actually, if you push it down, they actually lock it
down in there. Okay.
You can see deep doesn't work with computers. So, and then another thing as well is a power supply.
That's probably pretty important, I would think.
That's pretty important.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. Everything that you plug into your machine requires power, whether it's a USB keyboard, a USB mouse, a USB hard drive. So you want to make sure that you get a power supply that's big enough to handle what you've got.
Now you can change these in a computer. I think we had to do that in one of mine one time before.
Right, yours went bad.
Yeah, and
so we had to change it.
Right, okay.
And a lot of machines, this is a very basic machine, so it's got built-in video. It's a built-in graphics adapter. It's actually
not a video card per se.
Correct. It's actually right here. This is the video card.
Which would, I'd imagine, if it's basic, is pretty limited if you're doing games and things.
Games. You're going to be able to play real basic games, but not anything high-end. So most people, when they're building their own system, they put in a dedicated video card. Dedicated video card takes dedicated power, so you have to make sure that you've got enough power to power all these devices.
So I would think, folks, first, before you decide what computer you're going to get, find out what your applications are going to be or what you're going to do with it.
That's exactly.
Otherwise, then you're going to realize, hey, I can't put a video card in this motherboard.
If you're going to be surfing the web, checking email, and just doing real basic things, playing solitaire, you can get away with a real basic system.
I only play that with a couple people.
If you want to play Quake at, the highest resolutions, or the latest video game that's out there,
ain't gonna happen.
You're gonna need a high-end motherboard. You're gonna need lots of memory. Now you're gonna need a dedicated video card, a high-end power supply. These start at 250 watts. That's low end.
So you want to move up.
I think the one in my system right now is 1,000 watts.
Okay.
And then you've got stuff like hard drives, different capacitors. This is a 200 gig.
Right.
Floppy drives, CD-ROM drives.
Yeah, and you can, like I say, you can order all this stuff if you buy a computer already built. You just got to decide what you're going to do with it. Floppy drives, people still use the floppies.
Some people do, believe it or not.
Yeah, I do.
But now they've been taken over by the little memory card readers.
Yeah, interesting.
So I just want to give you a brief rundown of what's inside a computer, and
this is great.
At some point we will show you where to get these bits from, and it's not going to work.
I'm trying to improve my memory, yeah.
And we'll show you how to order this stuff, put it all together, and build yourself a nice machine.
Oh, I remember when I was 6.
I'm sorry. Here, let me plug this in and you put it in now.